Hey everyone, welcome to the video. I'm Amy and I post new videos every week. Today's video is going to be a tag video. This is a tag created by my friend here on YouTube, Tews. If you've never heard of her, are you living under a rock? We began our channels around the same time and I found her in a video which she hates me bringing up, but I bring it up all the time, where she's trying on like every single sweater she owns. And it's hilarious. But she created this tag video and it is the makeup declutter tag. And there are 10 questions around makeup and talking about items that you would declutter. And I recently have actually just finished like uploading my declutters from 2021, like the second half of the year. So I don't have plans to actually declutter these items at this time, but they are kind of in that limbo space, most of them. One of them is already decluttered. Well, two of them are already decluttered. We'll talk about that as we go. But if you want to see my entire declutter series, I am going to go ahead and link the entire playlist either here or down below. If you want to see like an in-depth actual regular declutter, but this is a declutter tag. I think it's an amazing like tag video, yes, but also these questions in general are just really good to be thinking about when you're trying to declutter your makeup collection in general. So I will probably be keeping just like a list of these questions, like most of them honestly, to think about. I'm trying to be more critical about my makeup, like my purchases and my keeping and things like that, and just having different questions on like, it's one, I don't know if I'm making sense, but it's one thing to be like, do I need this when you go to purchase something? Like that's only one level, but if you give yourself a few questions like, do I need this? Do I have something similar to this? Do I have the money to spend on this? Whatever, like, then it will help you not spend. I feel like the same way for a declutter, if you're really trying to really declutter, it is so helpful to have questions like this ready and available so that you can really think critically as you're doing it. That was a really long intro. I'm going to have Ava's channel and Ava's video down below if you want to check it out. And she also has an entire playlist where creators that do the tag can upload to it. So there's a few out there already. If you are a creator, do this tag. I think it's such an interesting thing. Like, yay, Ava. But let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, the first question. A makeup item that you have that is impractical. Now, if I had like an air spray machine or something like that, like I feel like those are like for day-to-day use are probably the most impractical. But out of the collection and items that I currently have, this was the item that came to mind, and this is actually like brand new to my collection. Like I've not even used it, and it is this palette right here. The reason I say that it is impractical is because one, it's huge, right? So that makes it kind of impractical. Two, it is rainbow, which if you know the kind of makeup looks that I wear, I don't wear, like I do wear colorful makeup, but not in like a rainbow way, if that makes sense. And then the third thing is just because it has a mirror here, but the mirror is like quite impractical in my opinion. I do think it's really pretty and like I want to like force myself to use it, so I am not decluttering it, especially because I haven't really used it at all. I think I've dipped into like 2 of the shades. Out of all of my collection, this was the only thing that I could think of that was like the most out of my comfort zone and had like other things like size-wise going for it that made it impractical. But overall, just like, I don't care. So I am not going to declutter this. But I definitely think this is like kind of impractical. Number 2, a mascara that is definitely expired. So when I watched Ava's video, I was like, that is so funny because I just decluttered my Pat McGrath mascara. And when I saw her video, I literally paused her video. I went to my channel and I looked up when I posted the video where I tried that mascara for the first time. I had that mascara for like 14 months before I got rid of it. And so that one counts, but I am also going to count this Essence one, which I'm pretty sure I got in December of 2020. And it is currently February of 2022. So that is definitely due to go. And at this time, like I'm wearing it today. But I've been wearing it more so as like a layering mascara with other mascaras because I really do love this mascara, but there really isn't a lot going on for it right now. Like it's dried up completely. So I am actually going to declutter this, but I'm going to put it into my empties basket. All right. Number 3, a red lipstick you never wear. Well, first of all, I rarely wear my red lipsticks and I have so many of them. But for this, I'm going to mention one that I do not have on me because I just decluttered it. If you like literally a couple videos ago, I have my matte lipstick declutter. And in that video, there is one that I mentioned that isn't actually matte, and it is the Juvia's Place red lip gloss. It's like a vibrant, like a Christmas red, but it is a lip gloss, which I never wore because I kept thinking like, yes, there's a vision. Like, okay, cool, I might wear it in a picture, but like in reality, like there's no way that I could get away with wearing that pigmented of a red gloss. It would get everywhere while talking, while eating, while like living my life. I could just imagine the mess that it would make on my face. So that has got to be the one that I mentioned because I did like try it on my lips, but I never worn it. Out of all my red lipsticks, that's the one that I never ever wore for like more than 3 minutes. So that would be the one. Okay, number 4, high-end item that is not worth the money. This immediately came to my brain. I have like decluttered it from my collection, but I do still keep it around because I only used it 2 times. So I think I'm going to try to sell it on Poshmark or something. We'll see if I ever get around to that. But it is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Quad. And I mean, it's very pretty, okay? But it's not enough. That is not enough. That is not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. Like, her special, like, topper shade is literally just a topper. It's not pigmented. It's not extra specially dimensional like Pat McGrath or an indie shadow. Like, it doesn't do enough. And the mattes that are in here, I am very fair, and these mattes do not go deep enough for me. And I feel like I don't even go that deep with my eye looks. It's just not enough for me. It was absolutely way too expensive for what I could get out of it. And with 4 shades, you're already limited with the amount of looks you can create. Given that this shade is way too pale to exist on its own as a transition shade, this shade is way too pale to deepen up an outer corner. This shade is just a sparkly topper. There's not enough dimension in the differences of the shadows for you to be able to get more than one look out of this. Like, I don't know how this has gotten so much hype for so long with it being so insignificant, honestly, to me. I don't know. It's pretty. Like, I mean, if I had paid maybe $20 for this, I'd be like, cool, that's a good everyday palette. Like, it's a good everyday palette if you just have one look that you want to wear at work every day. Cool. Get yourself a little quad, good to go. But why would you want to pay $53 for something like that? Absolutely not. Way too much money. Way not worth that much money. Number 5, a drugstore dud. Now, I put this one in here because I do feel like this kind of like was all over Instagram for a while, and I still see it quite often, actually. And I do feel like it was I had very high expectations. Like, I don't feel like it was like super hyped, but I do feel like it was really liked, and I didn't, like, I expected to like it. And it just was like not it for me. And that is the Juvia's Place concealer. It is way too thick and dry and cakey. Like, yes, it will give you all the coverage that you need in the world, but it's also going to make you look disgusting. Like, I mean, I guess different skin types, obviously, it could look different on them, but on my skin, it does not look good at all. I even tried to use it just as like an eyeshadow primer situation because I have veining in my eyes and I like to cover that up, but I didn't even like it like that. Like, I could not handle it. It's just way too thick, way too drying. It was a dud for me. Number 6, an eyeshadow palette you forgot you had. Now, obviously, I wouldn't remember the palette if I forgot the palette, but I noticed that when I was doing my declutter and also when I did my inventory for this year, this was a palette that when I got to it, I was like, oh yeah, I have that palette. I haven't used this one since like Christmas season of 2020. Like, I have not really reached for it, and that is the NYX Ultimate palette. Now, this one, I'm not going to declutter yet because I liked it when I tried it. It's just one that there's something I don't know about, like the packaging or the size and packaging of this makes it fit right in with like my ColourPop palettes and my Lottie London palettes. So it's kind of like camouflaged in my collection, and I keep forgetting that I have it, but I think I will next month maybe put it in my monthly makeup basket just to kind of push it to the forefront so I can actually make a better decision on it, because I did like it when I was trying it. Like, when I very first bought it, like, I liked it and I had tried it a couple of times. Like, I can see that I've touched almost all of these shades. I think the only one I haven't dipped into is this deepest one here, but everything else definitely looks touched. It looks used. I just have really no memory of it, so I definitely need to push this forward. I'm not going to declutter it right now, but it's definitely one that I keep forgetting is in my collection. By the way, that is Ultimate Utopia. I didn't say that. Alrighty, number 7 is a foundation that is not a match. If you watch my inventory, you will know that I have a lot of foundations. So when I opened that drawer, I was expecting that there would be several that were not a match. And yeah, there are some that aren't a perfect match, but most of them actually are pretty good matches, and or they're like sheer enough to where the match is fine. This one though, and I think it's an especially heinous crime that it doesn't match me, because I hate the foundation and people love it. And it is the IT CC Illumination Foundation. I have the shade Light. I do believe they have a fair shade that is lighter than this, but still, this for light look, I don't even know if it's coming off. Like, how incredible. Like, here's the back of my hand, and here is that foundation. Like, look at how dark that is. It's almost dark enough to be a bronzer on me. It is so dark and like yellow. Ugh. I am working on trying to have something on my channel that talks about my feelings about every foundation that I have. I don't mean one video that has every foundation, but like sets of video that talks about like 5 to 10 at a time, like my foundation roundups, and making sure that I talk about every one that I have. But when I do my foundation declutter finally, I definitely see this one going because I just don't like it. Same goes for the concealer. Like, I'm not going to declutter this right now, but once I have something out there on my channel about how I feel about all the concealers that I have, that's when I will go ahead and do a foundation and concealer declutter. That might not be till the end of the year. I am not sure. We will see. But stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss out on that. Number 8 is a product that is not worth the hype. Now, I had to put this specific item and brand here because this brand has some of the most hyped up products in general, and that is Glossier. And the product I'm going to put there is their lip gloss. For years and years and years on this platform, I have seen people talking about how the Glossier lip gloss, the clear lip gloss, is their favorite lip gloss in the entire world. Is the juiciest, it's the most plumping, it's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. It goes with anything. They wear it on top of everything. It is so sticky and thick and gloopy and awful. I absolutely hated it. I did an entire face of Glossier, is it worth the hype video. I'm going to go ahead and link it here. And you can check out my thoughts on all the things that I tried. But that was the number one thing that was the most disappointing. And I just don't know why I was disappointed, because I do feel even though I feel everybody talks about lip glosses with the same words, it's almost as different as foundation preferences. It is so some things that I'm oh, this is a beautiful formula. Other people are that's gloopy. And some things I'm this is gloopy. They're that's my favorite formula ever. And I'm how are we using the same words but meaning different things? It's so weird how we explain textures and feelings and stuff like that. I'm so weird that I want to create a glossary that kind of defines those things, not by their dictionary definition, but by the beauty world and how they use it. Dewy versus glossy versus matte versus satin and things like that. I don't know. Let me know if that's a video idea that interests you. I don't know. But that's a thing that I think about all the time is do we mean the same things when we use the same word? Or if you hear someone talk about something in a positive light and use a word, do you just associate that word with being whatever you think is positive? Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyways, number 9. This one I haven't officially said on my channel yet, but I have had these feelings for a little while and I wanted to put off because I've been trying. But number 9, concealer you couldn't make work. I'm going to have to say the Kosas Revealer Concealer. I am so sorry. I don't know what everybody loves about this. I just don't like it. It's a little bit drying. The formula is kind of it wants to, if I were to pat it out with my finger, I feel it would stick to my finger and come up and be patchy. If you were wanting to see me review and do a 3-day wear test on the foundation that is related to this, let me know. I didn't pick it up because I don't like the concealer. So I try not to buy foundations that I don't think I will like. But if you guys want me to, I will. But I do not like the concealer. I'm so sorry. I have tried, and everybody has raved about it, and I just don't like it. I just don't like it. And number 10, the last question on the list, which she framed as she being Ava, a hypothetical, because I don't think anybody's going to do this. But if you had to start one makeup category from scratch, get rid of everything that you have right now and start from scratch, which makeup product would it be? And I've got 2 answers, okay? Immediately, I thought concealer. Because I have so many concealers, I don't know how I feel about any of them, but I do feel an obligation to have an opinion on them before I try new concealers. And I almost would just rather get rid of everything I own, start from scratch, and just try them and figure them out and just buy them a little bit slower so that I can do that. I want to do that, but the thing holding me back, well, I'm not going to do that in real life because I'm not doing that. But the thing holding me back from wanting to give that as an answer is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Concealer, which is one of my favorite concealer formulations in the entire world. I absolutely love it, and I love the color L1-2. But when they started like leaving like Ulta and Target, I think that's where they left, I bought so many of the like discounted ones that I have like 4 of them right now. And so I wouldn't want to get rid of those, you know? So I don't feel like that feels like a real and truthful answer for this hypothetical. So I would go ahead and say like sprays, like just general mist setting sprays, primer sprays, things like that. Yes, I'm glad that I have tried so many so that I have a little bit more opinions, and I know how the MAC Fix Plus is, and I know how the Smashbox Primerizer is, or Primer Water, and all of that. Like, I'm glad that I have that knowledge now, but I just don't use them enough for me to have as many as I have. And I definitely think, like, if I had the knowledge that I have right now, if I were to completely get rid of that section of my makeup, I might buy one, and it might just be like the Wet n Wild one. You know, like I might just have one on hand just in case, because I do find them useful when you're trying to make a foundation work. Like if something is too dry, if something, like if you put concealer on and it dried down too fast, you know, spray your face, help you blend it out. But I have such a vast collection, and so much of my collection is things that I truly love and enjoy, that I don't spend as much time trying to make what I have work, if that makes sense. So I don't really ever use setting sprays. I have a couple that I like just actually to mist my face beforehand if I just feel a thirsty face. But that's just kind of like a really extra on cherry on the top kind of situation. Like I feel like I could go without setting spray probably completely, honestly. But don't hold me to that, because I don't like getting rid of items that I'll use, because I don't ever want to have to buy something again. Like, if I declutter something, I'm not buying it again. You know? Like, it's gone. Unless it's something that's, like, expired. You know, like, obviously. Whatever. But, like, if I declutter something on the basis of I don't like it, or I'm not using it, whatever, then I've wasted that money if I buy it again. You know? That's how I feel about it. But yeah, that is all 10 of the tag questions from Ava, and I think they're really great questions. Like I said at the beginning, like I think maybe not all of these specific questions, but like, do I have anything that is impractical or expired that I never wear, that I feel like was a dud, right? Like if you use these questions and just kind of reframe them a little bit, things that I forgot about, you know, if I can answer the question, can I pull anything out of my collection that wasn't worth the hype? Why do I have it? If it wasn't worth the hype, like, yeah, you could have the answer of like, it wasn't worth the hype that it got, but I do like it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, keep it. So I just think that these are like really good questions in general to be asking yourself about your collection, even not as a tag. So thank you, Ava, for giving me some framework for that. I really appreciate it. I will definitely be asking myself these questions again and again in the future, and maybe expanding upon some of them as well. So this was really fun. I got to pull some things out of my collection that haven't seen the light of day in a while. So that was also really fun. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I have for you guys today. Again, I'm going to have Ava's video and everything linked down below, so don't forget to check that out. But that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It helps me out so much. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!